fourth point of module 1, lesson 1 is financial sector reforms. The NEP 1991 has given various reforms. In that, whatever the financial reforms are there, that now we are going to discuss financial sector, because financial sector reforms were introduced by the government since 1990, and they were aimed to make Indian financial sector very strong and very transparent. The financial sector, what is coming in financial sector? So the Indian financial sector consists of banking, insurance and capital market. So three points we are going to discuss today. Indian financial sector consists of banking, insurance and capital market. Okay, so when we say that financial sector reforms, their reforms are there in the banking sector, then insurance sector and capital market. Okay, then what happened in before 1991, that the government appointed a committee under the chairmanship of M. Narsimhan to examine all aspects of financial system in India. So government appointed one committee, that is Narsimhan Committee. Always remember that whatever the reforms in banking sector happened, they are totally depending upon the committee report. The committee was headed by Narsimhan, and that committee has given the report, and those reforms are followed in our country. So the committee submitted the report in 1991 and then in 1997. So two times the committee submitted their report. Okay, in 1991 Narsimhan committee submitted their report, and in 1997 also government appointed second committee, which is also headed by M. Narsimhan, and that committee has submitted the report in 1998. So banking sector reforms are based on the recommendation of these committees. So when you are writing the answer about the banking sector reforms, you have to give this line, that is very important, that banking sector reforms are based on the recommendations of Narsimhan Committee. Narsimhan Committee. Okay, Narsimhan Committee was appointed two times. It was appointed first in 1991. They have submitted the report. In 1997 again they have submitted the report, and all the banking sector reforms are based on the recommendation of Narsimhan Committee. Now what are the banking sector reforms? Now see, we will discuss one by one. Number one, lowering SLR. SLR is what? Statutory liquid ratio. SLR is nothing but statutory liquid ratio. So committee suggested that there has to be the statutory liquid ratio has to be reduced gradually. And then in 2018 it was like a 19.5%. So lowering SLR is the first banking sector reform. SLR stands for statutory liquid ratio. In 2018 the SLR was 19.5%. Then second reform is lowering CRR. CRR is cash reserve ratio. Lowering CRR, cash reserve ratio. The cash reserve ratio was reduced gradually from 15% in 1991. ध्यान से सुनो, in 1991 it was 15%, and in April 2008 the CRR was 4%. So this much of reduction in CRR was there. So what is the use of this lowering SLR and CRR? Because if they lower the SLR and CRR, more money will be there with commercial banks, and then they can create more credit creation. That was the intention, right? So lowering SLR and lowering SLR, CRR, these are the reforms. This is the second reform. The third reform is deregulation of interest rate. Deregulation of interest rate. The scheduled commercial banks have given freedom to set their interest rate on their deposit. शेड्यूल कमर्शियल बैंक को पूरा फ्रीडम दे दिया कि दे कैन सेट देयर रेट्स ऑन देयर डिपॉजिट्स because this is expected to bring a healthy competition among the banks and encourage their operational efficiency. See, ये जब freedom दिया जाता है ना, then what happens that people can work on their own ways and they can that their operational efficiency becomes very very high. ओके अभी जैसे हम लोगों को फ्रीडम दिया है कि यू पीपल कैन हैव अ गूगल, यू पीपल कैन टेक द ऑनलाइन लेक्चर. कोई ऐसा ये नहीं दिया कि जूम में होना चाहिए, इसमें होना चाहिए, उसमें होना चाहिए. इट हैज़ गिवन फ्रीडम टू अस, right? So we can do it on our own with a very good efficiency. So that is how if the freedom is given, then what happens, that efficiency is there, operational efficiency is very very high. So that is deregulation of interest rate is the third banking sector reforms. Then the next is access to capital market. Fourth is access to capital market. Nationalized commercial banks are allowed to access the capital market for funds through public issues. That means they can get more funds through capital market also. Okay, so that was also given freedom to commercial banks that they can access to the capital market for the funds. Capital market से ज़्यादा fund मिल सकता है. So through public issues, that means they can have their public issues in the capital market. People can purchase it and the money will go to the commercial bank. So like that, the more funds they can generate. So nationalized commercial banks are allowed to access capital market for funds through public issues. That is number 4. Number 5, entry of new private sector banks. This is really very very important. Entry of new private sector banks. See, previously the banking sector was pure monopoly of the government. Government के हाथ में ही पूरा banking sector था. And we know that they were not working efficiently. There were so many problems. They were not creating profit and all. And that is why government has permitted the entry of new private sector banks. So there can be a competition to the public sector bank. अभी देखो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक को भी कंपटीशन आ गया, ऐसे ऐसे एकदम अच्छा कर रही है. तो स्टेट बैंक इज़ द लार्जेस्ट पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक, उनको कंपटीशन हो गई ऐसे ऐसे की. सो देयर कैन बी अ कंपटीशन इफ द पब्लिक सेक्टर, इफ द प्राइवेट सेक्टर विल बी एनकरेज. सो गवर्नमेंट हैज़ रिकमेंडेड दैट देयर हैज़ टू बी द एंट्री ऑफ न्यू प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक्स. द नेक्स्ट इज फ्रीडम ऑफ ऑपरेशन. फ्रीडम ऑफ ऑपरेशन मतलब क्या है, लोगों को पूरा फ्रीडम दे दिया, कमर्शियल बैंक्स को पूरा फ्रीडम दे दिया. शेड्यूल कमर्शियल बैंक्स हैज़ गिवन freedom to open the new branches, then upgrade their extension counters, then they are also given permission to close the non-viable branches other than in the rural areas. That is what the freedom is given. Like say for example, one bank is not viable in the sense what they are not making profit. So that bank has given permission that they can close the non-viable branches, or they can even open new branches, upgrade their extension counters, upgrade their technology, upgrade various counters in their banks. So freedom of operation is given to the commercial bank. So that is also very important thing that government has done. So freedom of operations. And then the next is special recovery tribunals. रिकवरी क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट जिसको लोन देती है, लेकिन क्या होता है जो कोई लोग लोन का इंस्टॉलमेंट नहीं भरते हैं, तो there are not lots of non performing assets are there in the economy, and that is why the banking sector is having lots of losses. So government has set up a special recovery tribunals for quicker recovery of loan arrears. लोन एरियर्स जो होते हैं उसको रिकवरी होना चाहिए. दैट इज़ वाई गवर्नमेंट हैज सेट अप द स्पेशल रिकवरी ट्रिब्यूनल्स. सो दीज आर 4, 5, 6, 7 banking sector reforms that you have to write under this banking sector reforms. Financial sector reform में that I told you that Indian financial sector reform consists of banking, insurance and capital market. banking, insurance and capital market. In banking sector reforms, these are the 7 points you have to write. Heading you have to by heart. Okay, and then in front of that you can write only 1 or 2 sentences, that is only 1 or 2 sentences are there. I'll just repeat. Banking sector reform, number 1, lowering SLR, the SLR, that is statutory liquid ratio, lowered to 19.5% in 2018. Lowering CRR, second point. CRR is cash reserve ratio. In 1991 it was 15%. In 2018 CRR is 4%. So lowering CRR, that is the recommendation given by, or that is a reform in the banking sector reforms. Then deregulation of interest rate. Scheduled commercial banks have the freedom to set the interest rate on their deposit, and this is expected to bring a healthy competition among the banks and encourage their operational efficiency. So this is number 3. Number 4, access to capital market, that nationalized commercial banks are allowed to access capital market for funds through public issues. Then the next, entry of new private sector bank. Government has permitted the entry of new private sector banks, so this has provided a competition to the public sector banks. Then the next, freedom of operation. Scheduled commercial banks have given freedom to open new branches, upgrade their technology, upgrade their extension counter, and they are also permitted to close non-viable branches, but not in the rural areas. Rural areas they can't close the branch, and this is what is the freedom is given. And the last point in that is special recovery tribunals. The government has set up special recovery tribunals for the quicker recovery of loan arrears. So this is banking sector reforms. Now, as I said that the Indian financial sector consists of banking, second is insurance and third is capital market. तो अभी हमारा second point आता है कि what is the capital market reforms. तो capital market reforms are also like the best policy government adopted since 1991 to encourage the capital flow in the market. So that is what are the reforms they have done, that we will discuss one by one. There are 5 reforms that we have to, 5 or 6 reforms are there that we have to discuss. Number 1, SEBI as a statutory body. Now what is SEBI stands for? SEBI stands for Securities and Exchange Board of India. Securities and Exchange Board of India. It was set up in 1998 and it was made a statutory body in January 1992. It was a 1988 में उसको set up किया and it was made a statutory body in 1992. And SEBI is authorized to regulate all the merchant banks on issue activity, then on their guidelines. SEBI can provide guidelines, SEBI can supervise, and SEBI can regulate the working of mutual funds, and SEBI can see that how the working of stock exchanges in India is happening. So all those things are done statutorily under head of the SEBI. That was the best policy government has adopted. So as far as financial sector reforms is concerned, in that this is a capital reforms. Capital reforms mein number 1 is SEBI as a statutory body. This question can be asked for multiple choice question. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, was set up in 1988. If you see the question paper last 2 years, you will find that 2 or 3 times in October or in March this question is asked. SEBI was set up in dash in 1988. Okay, it was set up in 1988, but it was made a statutory body in 1992. So there are 2 things that you have to understand here. Okay, so this is what you have to understand about SEBI. Now the second point is primary market reforms. Now there are 2 types of market in the capital market. Everyone is aware there are primary market and there are secondary market. Primary market में क्या होता है, जो new shares है वो they are brought and sold in the प्राइमरी मार्केट. एंड सेकेंडरी मार्केट में क्या है, जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट है, दो शेयर्स आर परचेस्ड और दो शेयर्स आर सेल इन दैट मार्केट. सो दैट इज प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी मार्केट. अभी प्राइमरी मार्केट में रिफॉर्म्स क्या लाया था, कंपनीज रेजिंग कैपिटल इन द प्राइमरी मार्केट आर रिक्वायर्ड to disclose all the information. Previously कैसे था, companies were not disclosing their information, but now the rule has made that companies raising capital in the market, in the primary market, are required to disclose all the information. Okay, so that is very compulsory. Any company, they want to come into the they want to raise their capital through through this capital market, they have to disclose their all information. That was mandatory. So because of that, लोगों को पता चलता था कि how the company is running, what is the company, what is the base of the company, what are the things are in the company. So people have a choice to whether to go for the shares or not, whether to go for that securities or not. All the choices were for the people. So all the information is clear to people, and they can have their own they can take their own decision. So that is number 2. Number 3, online trading. Online trading. So SEBI has introduced online trading, and this is expected to lead the reduction in time and cost. Previously कैसे होता था, suppose if I wanted to buy any share, then I have to tell my agent that I want to buy this share. So those shares were manually, everything was happening. But after 1991, online trading is happening. So even you people can also open your account and you can do the trading. So there is a saving of time, there is a saving of cost, and there is a elimination of various risks associated with the paper-based or physical settlement. All those things are there. So online trading that was introduced by SEBI, that is the best step SEBI has taken, and it was because of that online trading there is a reduction in the time and cost, and we can even eliminate the various risks associated with the paper-based or the physical settlement. So this is the third reform in the capital market as far as capital market reforms are concerned. Then the fourth one is rolling settlement. What is this rolling settlement? Basically, SEBI has introduced rolling settlement in 2000. In 2000, they introduced the rolling settlement. Under this system, the trading cycle has been shortened to a day. मतलब trading cycle has been shortened to a day, and trades are settled within 2 working days. जो trades होते हैं, that was the period of that trade was shortened to 1 day, and the trades are settled within 2 days. Why it is there? Because this is expected to increase the efficiency and integrity of the securities market. And for that, rolling settlement was introduced by SEBI in 2000. Then the next is, fifth one is investment by FII. Now see, there is FDI, foreign direct investment. Okay, I should go fast, I should go slow. Fine. I am going to revise it, beta log. Don't worry. I am going to tell you in a very, very slow and systematic way. Don't worry. Fine. Yes, that is what is expected. If you have anything like you can't hear me, or I am going little faster, just put it on the chat box. I can see that immediately, and I can make the changes in my lecture. Investment by FII. See, there is a difference between FDI and FII. FDI is foreign direct investment, and FII is foreign institutional investors. Foreign institutional investors. So this is a new reform in the capital market, that investments by FII. FII stands for foreign institutional investors. Foreign institutional investors are allowed to invest in all types of securities traded in the primary market and in the secondary market. That is what you have to write the explanation. Investment by FII is allowed in all types of market, in all types of securities traded in the primary market and secondary market. That means it is now open for the foreigners or foreign institutions to invest into the primary market and to the secondary market. So foreign institutional investors, FII, are allowed to invest in all types of securities, traded in the primary and secondary market. So this is the next one. Now the last reforms in the capital market is establishment of NSE. NSE stands for National Stock Exchange. This is a very big step taken by the government. Okay, establishment of NSE, National Stock Exchange. This is the last point of capital market reforms. The National Stock Exchange of India, NSE, was set up in 1992 and it started its operation in 1994. NSE was set up in 1992 and it started its operation in 1994. NSE की वजह से क्या हो गया? Because of NSE, it helped to bring the transparency and operational efficiency in the secondary market operations. In the secondary market operations, there was a lot of transparency and operational efficiency because of establishment of NSE. That is what you have to understand. So I'll just repeat once. As I said, that financial sector consists of banking, capital market and insurance. So we discussed banking sector. Now we are discussing capital market reforms. Capital market reforms mein I told you, first point, SEBI as a statutory body. SEBI, which is Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, which was set up in 1988 and it was made a statutory body in 1992. That is the first point. And SEBI is authorized to regulate all the banks on issue activity. They can provide the guidelines, they can supervise, they can regulate the working of mutual funds, and they can oversee the working of the stock exchanges in India. So SEBI was a very, very important establishment as far as capital sector reforms are there. Second, primary market reforms. Primary market reforms, in that you have to write that companies raising capital in the primary market are required to disclose all the information. That is the reform. The third, online trading. Third point, SEBI started online trading or SEBI has introduced online trading, and this is expected, why they have done, to this is expected to reduce the time, cost, and we can even eliminate the various risks associated with the paper based or the physical settlement. So for that, online trading was started by SEBI. Then rolling settlement is the fourth point. It was introduced again by the SEBI in 2000, and under this system the trading cycle has been shortened to a day and the trades are settled in 2 working days. This is the fourth point. The fifth point is investment by FII. FII stands for foreign institutional investors. They are allowed to invest in all types of securities in the primary market and in the secondary market. That means foreign institutional investors are allowed to do the trading in primary market as well as in the secondary market. As I said, primary market where the new shares are purchased or they are sold, and in the secondary market the existed shares are sold or they are purchased. So this is, they were allowed to, foreign institutional investors are allowed to do the trading in all types of in both the markets, that is in primary market and in the secondary market. Then the last point we discussed, that is establishment of NSE. that is National Stock Exchange. NSE stands for National Stock Exchange. It was set up in 1992 and it started its operation in 1994. For which purpose NSE was established? Because of NSE, there is a lot of transparency and there is a lot of operational efficiency in the secondary market. Okay, so these are the points that you have to write. Okay, apart from that, government even started various other activities, but these are the 6 points that you have to give under this capital sector reforms. Abhi now the last point, that is insurance sector reforms. These are the 3 things that are coming under financial sector reforms. I am telling you again, the question can be explain financial sector reforms. A separate question can be asked. So financial sector consists of banking, capital market and insurance. So banking sector reforms में we discuss various points. Capital sector market में we have discussed various points. Now we will discuss about the insurance sector reforms. Students, when we say insurance, only we are thinking about LIC, GIC, that's all. That is only coming in our mind. It was because insurance sector was the monopoly of the government. Previously, insurance sector was the monopoly of the government. But there were several reforms. They happened after 1991 and the government has passed one act that is called as IRDA. IRDA Act in 1999. IRDA stands for Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. I repeat, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. So government has passed this law act in 1999, that is IRDA Act, and this IRDA stands for Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, IRDA Act 1999. Okay, the IRDA Act ended the monopoly of the government in the insurance sector. That is the main first thing you have to write about IRDA. IRDA Act ended, finished the monopoly of the government in the insurance sector. पहले जो खाली LIC, GIC was there, that monopoly of the government in the insurance sector was totally ended by this IRDA Act. This is done by, how it has happened, by encouraging the private investment in insurance sector. Private people can have also the insurance, or they can also come into the insurance field. So IRDA has given license to number of private sector companies to do the insurance business. That was open now. That was open to all the people. Those who want to enter into the insurance industry, they can come into the insurance industry. So IRDA has given license to number of private sector companies to do the insurance business. And the government has raised the foreign equity investment capital in the insurance company from 26% to 49%. That is also very, very important. Okay, so because of IRDA, the monopoly of the government was ended, and government has encouraged the private sector in the insurance sector, and government has given license to number of private sector companies to do the insurance business. Government has even raised the foreign equity investment capital in the Indian insurance industry from 26% to 49%. So these are the points you have to write under the insurance sector reforms. Okay, so these are the 3 very important points in the financial sector reforms. Okay, so I'll just repeat once that financial sector reform or financial sector consists of banking, insurance and capital market. Banking sector reforms we have discussed with more than 7 points. There are 7 points in the banking sector reforms. The capital sector reforms also have 7 points, and insurance sector reforms, I told you about the IRDA Act. IRDA stands for Insurance and Regulatory Development Authority. This act passed in 1999, and this act ended the monopoly of the government in the insurance sector. So government has given license, IRDA has given license to number of private companies to do the insurance business, and government even raised the foreign equity investment of capital in the Indian insurance company from 26% to 49%. So फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स में ये 3 रिफॉर्म्स आते हैं. 1 बैंकिंग सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स, 2 कैपिटल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स, एंड 3 इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स. So financial sector reforms have led to the significant broadening and encouraging the financial market with various new instruments. Okay, so this financial sector reforms, because of the financial sectors reforms, the financial markets were totally broadened, or they were totally expanded. There were various new instruments were introduced in the market, and because of that the banking sector, the insurance sector, and the capital market were expanded, and there was a very good development in the banking sector, capital sector, and in the insurance sector because of these reforms. Before 1991, if you compare, and after 1991, if you compare the financial sector, the banking sector, capital sector, and the insurance sector, you will find that there is a lot of difference before 1991 and after 1991. Why this difference is there? That is only because of the reforms made in the financial sector. So financial sector means there are 3 sectors: banking, insurance, and capital. So there were reforms in the banking sector, there were reforms in the insurance sector, and there were reforms in the capital market also. So these are the 3 points that you have to write under this. Okay. Now, if I sum up the entire topic, that is new economic policy, what has the effect of the new economic policy? So the new economic policy 1991 has created an encouraging environment for investment and innovation. All these reforms what we have discussed, all these reforms have encouraged the environment for investment and innovation. Indian industries have started to attract the foreign portfolio investment and equity participation in the new ventures. That is a great achievement we have to say. And India has started to experience higher growth rates in the post-reform period. As I said, before 1991 and after 1991, if you compare, you will understand that India has started to experience higher growth rates in the post-reform period, and Indian economy is now much more integrated with the world economy. Indian economy is now much more integrated with the world economy. So these are the things that has happened in after 1991. So you have to understand when I said that this is what you have to write under the financial sector, under